Hello, everyone. I'm Janet from Drawla Mountain Center, and I'm here today with Andrew Holecek, who will be teaching a program at Drawla Mountain Center called the Blissful Pure Lands this May 20th to 26th.
These Pure Lands, there's many different types, and part of the program is going to be talking about all the different types, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, Nirmanakaya, Pure Lands, partial. I mean, it's just an entire variety. So the Pure Lands that we are most interested in, at least people who are students of the Buddhist tradition and abide by some of these principles, is literally called Dewa Chen Sukhavati, literally the land of bliss, the land of great bliss. And it is a location as real, or I like to say unreal, as this dimension. It's a place that one can go to that was created in this particular case by one of the great kind of what are called celestial Buddhas, Amitabha, for people to enter a dimension that is non-retrogressive. I mean, this is actually one reason why people want to go there. People often say, "Oh, why should I go to these Pure Lands? You know, in addition to what are they? Why should I go there?" Well, one reason you want to go there is they are considered non-retrogressive. And what that means is that once you get there after death, right? So these are locations that people aspire to attain after they transition. And so one of the reasons you go there is that of all the Pure Lands, by far the most accessible, easiest one to enter into. And we talk about this at great length. What are these visa requirements? What does it take to get in there? How do you practice it? You go there because the center of gravity is so high. It's as if you were in a neighborhood. Imagine this scenario. You're in a neighborhood or a city where everybody is a teacher or a lama or a rinpoche or some elevated being, right? So the center of gravity is so high, you have no choice but to kind of step up into that frequency, so to speak, and be elevated by it. It's quite evocative descriptions of what it's like. Actually, what is it like to be there? And they talk about, the birds sing the Dharma and the rivers speak the Dharma. And so it creates, and we'll talk about this shortly, it creates this really wonderful kind of sacred world environment. You can actualize your bodhisattva vow much more rapidly by going there because psychospiritual development is so quick, so powerful. But then the real juice comes in discovering that you're already in a Pure Land, right? And so this is where it really comes into the kind of the tantric end of things. That basically, if you just remove the cataracts of confusion, open the aperture of your awareness, whatever metaphor you want to use, you're already in the sacred ground. It's what Thich Nhat Hanh talked about as the Pure Land of the present moment. And this is where things really become cool, because then you realize, oh my gosh, I just have to really wake up to realize I already am in this dimension. And so one of my favorite maxims here, and this is a powerful one, is that the spiritual path is more perceptual than actual. That's a really good one. That fundamentally, on one level, you're not, on a more absolute level, you're not really going anywhere. You're basically opening up, realizing that, like they say in their traditions, you're already a Buddha, you just forgot. You're already a bodhisattva deity, whatever you want to call that symbolism of the ultimate, you just forgot. And so these teachings jog our memories. And so we'll be spending probably more than half the time exploring that one and actually talking about what does purity really represent? What is the symbolism behind purity? And so
I love that, the empowerment to remember that we're already there. Hey, that kind of leads into another question, like how do we get there?
the idea there is mindscape leads to landscape, so to speak. And so the classic mantra recitation in that sutra world is critical. In the Tantra arena, which also will help you get into Sukhavati, but more importantly, helps you realize that this is Sukhavati, then you work with the collection of merit. We talk about merit principles. What does merit really look like? Creating the proper intentionality, and then creating the almost like the visualization aspects of it. Becoming really, really intimate with the alleged topography of what the Pure Land really is. And then we're going to be reciting a really brilliant, fantastic kind of tantric Pure Land practice that is much more subtle, nuanced, esoteric, and just majestic. When you really understand, again, Pure Land principles in a non-dualistic way, then you can really work with this in this incredibly impure environment that we find ourselves in today. You know, the divisiveness, I mean, just look at what's happening in the world. I mean, this is like far from a Pure Land. But if you really understand Pure Land principles, you can enter the most impure environments. And this isn't some kind of whitewashing. This isn't some like covering over. No, what it is it's cutting through the projected levels of impurity. So this is where it becomes really practical in terms of things like social activism, engaging in a world. Because I say this all the time these days, Janet, that if what we're doing with this so-called spiritual business is not of benefit to the world, it's irrelevant. But we come all the way back to realizing, wow, now I understand how I can use these principles right here, right now, to be a benefit not only to myself, but also to others.
Such a gift to ourselves and the world, and more needed than ever right now. Thank you for bringing them to us in the form of this program, the Blissful Pure Lands, being offered as a hybrid program, so both an on-land option and an online option this May 20th to 26th.